Welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. So earlier today, we finished our series of testing the player creation engine by position, by level, across a series of attributes. And I thought that went pretty well. And I was going to do a regular creator roster test tonight to kind of kick off the creator roster season. But the results of the testing, they were concerning as it regards lowball creator roster, because at every position the scrub level, it's not that it's that much better than it was before, but the bottom end of scrub level seems to have been basically like eliminated. For relief pitchers and closers, we don't get the half stars and 1 stars we got previously. For starting pitchers, you don't get the 1 and 1.5 stars we were used to seeing. And for the position players, almost no half stars and very few 1 stars. These are like the bread and butter of creator roster. So I thought I would do a creator roster run to see. I mean, even if it's just to set expectations that, for most of the cycle, I actually had the leaderboard up earlier today when I was explaining to the afternoon crowd what our community games look like. And in talking about creator roster, of course, we ended up talking about EVC's record that stood for such a long time, and then how Smiley Face Jane broke it at the end. Let me see if I can find that leaderboard. I might have closed it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Max, I forget who it was. Someone actually asked about you specifically. They said, "Oh, is this the game that Max kept trying to play?" And I'm sure it was whoever it was. I'm sure they knew exactly that it was, but it was pretty funny. So here's the low ball leaderboard. So yeah, it was 34 wins for a long time, Jeff the Jar, and then 3 runs of sub 30 wins towards the end there. Smiley Face Jane, Barry Basher, and then Smiley Face Jane again, but Barry Basher retained the title. With the lack of 1 stars and half stars, I wonder if we're going to be like playing in the 60s, 50 and 60 win range. Unless I really change the rules drastically and maybe just, add a bunch more bench or scrub level players. Yeah, yes. Max, who notoriously had a Triple Crown winner. Also funny was that Sporer, playing lowball, had a reliever of the year. When on our regular creator roster teams, when we're trying to do well, we couldn't get a reliever of the year to save our lives. So I think tonight what I'll do is we'll test out the low ball. It's a pretty chill night. Ezra was off tonight. Normally he's only off Saturday and Monday, but I think he had something with work. So we don't have a raid coming in. It's a chill night. Unless Smiley Face Jane goes on after, we don't have a raid after. So I thought it'd be a good time to maybe just do a low ball just to see where we are. And then if it requires some tinkering, I could do some tinkering. I'm still torn. Which is the more incredible low ball achievement? Having a Triple Crown winner or having a reliever of the year? Oh, yeah. I thought that's tomorrow night. I thought it was tonight, but then during his stream today, I thought he said tomorrow night. Is that tonight? and then it's this midnight, or I thought it was tomorrow, and tomorrow is midnight. Yeah, okay. I thought it was tonight until he said that. But I may have misinterpreted what he said, so there's no telling. Anyway, before we do that, I have two drafts that normally I do my drafting before I stream while watching Ezra. But tonight it didn't work out that way, and then Ezra wasn't streaming, so I have two tournaments. Oh, and also these are not usual tournaments. These are weeklies, so they are not part of my routine. So I need to draft these. I've got 48 minutes to do two of them. I usually draft everything like a speed draft anyway, so I don't think it'll take too long. I thought about putting the form up first, but no one ever fills up the form until we're we're done creating the team. Heck, maybe we'll put the form up first. So then, as people wander in, I can tell them, "Hey, the form is up." Let's do that. Let me put the form up. I stopped you in daily today, Late. Which daily was that? Let's see. History. Let's find a Google form. I think the form we use for Major League Farm Team, that one probably still works. Or you know what? Let me take the last two paragraphs of that, and then we'll copy that onto a lowball form from last cycle. Let's do that. I think that's the better hybrid. Episode 327. Lowball creator roster test number 1. Or OOTP26 test number 1. Okay, this is we'll use this as the basis for our form. Let me get it in the stream here. Now I'm going to have to change some references. I'm also going to change these last two paragraphs because we changed the way we do our scoring. The number of regular season wins is going to be the last of the Survivor style section. Okay, in tonight's stream we'll be testing one of the variations of Creator Roster, the lowball version where we try to build the worst team possible. In OOTP25, the lowball record for wins was 20 and 142 by Barry Basher. We've noticed that the player creation engine in OOTP26 seems to be producing much fewer 0.5 and 1.0 star players at the scrub and bench levels. So this test run will be used to determine if we need any rule changes to keep the low ball version fun and competitive. We'll create players for all 20 fixed roster spots to replace a team to be determined. With 26 created players. Oh, afternoon nap. Oh, so it's a daily perfect draft. Yeah, I changed my approach this week, so I've started doing a little bit better in perfect drafts again. I did really well the first 2 weeks of the season. Then I had a big drop off, and in fact, I only had 2 teams in qualifying position for PTCS number 2 as of Monday. So I've tweaked my approach to evaluating cards for traditional tournaments and for perfect drafts. And it takes a little while for those changes to kind of take effect. Because like the weeklies, don't happen all the time. And I'm a little too busy to overhaul all my rosters at once, so I'm doing it slowly. But I am starting to see some improvement because of that. So sorry, you might have been the victim of one of my updates. We will use the same position / level choices I used in my... Oh, no. Let's do this. We will use Berry Basher's championship selections. So you select 2 legend, 5 star, 5 good, 5 red, 5 bench, 4 scrub players. For each, and you guys know this part of the thing, for each roster spot we'll create 5 players and 1 will be chosen for the team, the other 4 will be deleted. For reference, these position and level choices by Berry Basher led to a 20 and 142 record, and the OOTP25 create a roster low ball championship. For now, we will also use the same low ball rules from OOTP25. Right, 11 to 13 pitchers, including 5 starting pitchers, 2 catchers, 2 shortstops, 2 center fielders, 1 to 2 players for all other positions. So you have to have at least 1, and fatigue settings may not be used. Okay, and the questions are: will this team have a regular season win percentage below 500? Below 500 or 500 and better? Will it finish last in its division? Will it finish with the lowest regular season win percentage in its league? Lowest win percentage in the majors? Will this team have an OTP game score of 1? How many regular season games will this team win? This is the last question in the Survivor style section. And then after this, it's whoever gets the most run. How many games behind will it finish in this division? What will be the rank in runs scored, best to worst? Rank in batting average, best to worst. Rank in home runs hit, best to worst. ERA, best to worst. Strikeouts thrown, defensive efficiency. What will be the lowest batting average of batters on the team with at least 300 plate appearances? What is the highest ERA of the pitcher on the team with at least 100 innings pitched? Because of the new format, I feel okay adding a few new questions this cycle. Let's ask the lowest OPS. And the lowest whip, or the highest whip. What other bad statistics? Because, like, I can't ask fewest home runs, right? Because part of it's so much is driven by how many plate appearances they get. Strikeout percentage for batters would be good, except I don't think it's one of the standard statistics, is it? Let's take a look. Here's the creator roster test run. I'm just going to use this because it's handy. WRC Plus might be interesting. Oh, maybe for pitchers we can use the highest home runs per 9. All right, hold on. Let's see what standard statistics we get. We could go most caught stealing. I mean, it's not that much of a chore to go to batting stats too. Oh, there is a strikeout percentage on sheet 2. All right, I'm Drew. Good call. We're gonna go strikeout percentage. What is the highest strikeout percentage? Oh, wait, hold on. I put this in the pitcher section by mistake. What is the highest? Of batters on the team with at least 300 player appearances. And then let's go home runs per 9. Okay, I like those. I think that's good. I don't think WRC Plus is one of the standard. It's not on stats 1 or 2. What other pitching stats might there be? I think I kind of like where we are with these, actually. I think we have three pitching and 3 batting. I kind of like strikeout percentage and home runs per 9 being the additional ones. I think this is good. In fact, at some point, I might take out these ranking questions for low ball. But they are an interesting way to get people some closest. All right, so let me go ahead and put this in the chat, and then we'll knock out my 2 drafts, and then we'll start building this team. And again, you're more than welcome to wait to submit until after I've selected the team. Link to form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway. Okay, good luck, everybody. And let's go ahead and do those drafts real quick. Let me make sure I have Barry Basher's choices. They should be... Let's see. First of all, where's the leaderboard? Okay, there's the leaderboard. Let me open create a roster submissions. That's what it was called. Okay. Low ball. Yep, I do have Barry Basher's winning. It's interesting. We'll see how it does in the new format. Now, if I finish above 20 wins, part of it is I probably am not selecting players as well as Barry Basher did. I think a lot of it, though, is going to be that we just don't have any 1-star or half-star pitchers in the scrub and bench pool. But I'll put Barry Basher's I'll put actually the most recent 10 or 15 rosters up after we draft these, do these drafts. Okay, we now have 31 minutes to draft these two teams. All right, it is a double PD. I've been doing a lot better in the double PDs than in the regular PDs. It's a 1989 run environment, so home runs are down. Let's see just how much they're down. Let me put up a BREF for you here. I have one open. Let me find it. All right, here's 2010 versus 1989. Now, 87 was a big year in home runs, but I think 89 is back down. Yeah, it's 22 percentage points lower than current day. Strikeouts are also down about 20%, 7 to 5.6. Runs are not down by that much. So really, it's just a drop in home runs, a drop in strikeouts. So that means we have a slightly higher appetite for players with the lower avoid K. And we have to just remember that when we go for these like power I guys, that their power is going to be nerfed. All right. Let's see if I can keep my streak of doing better in PDs alive. Judge. Oh, I haven't considered the Joe Jackson before. You know, I normally would have probably gone Judge Ryan here, but I like this Joe Jackson card. With the 76 power, that won't matter as much, so we'll go with that. We'll try out the new Judge. So with Winfield, with this profile, I don't mind losing 20% of the power as much as some other players. The problem is if I get around where the only good player is an outfielder, I'm running out of room in the outfield. But I also like that he can play center field, as I think can Joe Jackson. But Winfield plays a better center field. So we'll go Winfield. All right, I go Moreno. Amstar. Oh, good. I like this Fernando card a lot. Do we like it in this era? Yes, we still love it in this era. And then Matt Shaw. Anywhere on the infield, I like that. It means passing on Alvin Davis, but that's okay. First basemen are easier to find. Make sure Rao plays in this era. Yep, I like that. Who else? Dandridge or Clarkson for the infield. Now, this is where Clarkson's a no-brainer in 87, but I might not grab him here. Again, though, it's only 20%. It's not like it's dead ball. If it's dead ball, I'd take Dandridge for sure. Or do we go pitcher? No, I think I need a bat here still. Alright, we'll go Dandridge. I don't know. Clarkson's pretty tempting, though. Alright, we'll go with Dandridge and his more legit glove. Steve Rogers. Yep, still plays. Who's the least splitty of the first baseman? Okay, Robertson's less splitty, but Morales is better VR. We'll go Morales, because I think most of our other guys are better VL, like, other than Jackson, so... With strikeouts down, I dislike low avoid K batters less, and the high stuff pitchers don't help as much. So instead, like a guy like Sherry Smith, I would consider more. Whereas like normally I'd be looking for at least like this profile. I would really like in an era where strikeouts aren't nerfed. But for this era, I would then consider Sherry Smith a bit more. I don't get me wrong, I still like this profile. Strikeouts are only down 20%. I like that he's high across the board, which is a shape that seems to be doing pretty well this cycle. I mean, I might take them both. I do also like this Christian Campbell card. But I think we'll grab these two pitchers right now. I'm curious to know how Max deals with like a 20% drop in strikeouts for pitchers. Max is probably a much better perfect draft player than I am. McAuliffe at second, I like a lot. Or I could put Dandridge at second, I suppose. Or Shaw play second. What am I not even close on? My approach is not even close to your approach? All right, so with home runs down 20%, I don't mind this HRA nearly as much as I would if home runs were not down. And I want some lefties in the pen, so I'm going to go Oh, we need another catcher too. Nux Hall. Don't like that little P Babip. You think I'm better at you than perfect drafts? I don't think so. Is that true? It doesn't seem possible. Maybe if it's double PDs, that's the only format I could be better than anybody in. Traditional perfect draft, I'm actually pretty awful. I don't think I've won one this cycle. But the doubles I do pretty good. For today's PDs, you tried ground ball pitchers with elite defending. Well, the ground ball pitchers, the way that manifests is in the lower HRA. I mean, the higher HRA. So that might work out for you. All right, what's my backup in center field look like? What is my center field backup situation? All right, Joe Jackson is my backup, and he's a starter. All right, so we're going to grab... Oh, here's the thing, though. This Darvish card I like quite a bit, especially with the nerfed home runs. Okay, we're going to look for a backup center fielder in another round. Oh, here's Victor. Okay, perfect. A 103 center fielder with some contact. All right, we only have 8 pitchers, though, so we need to step that up a little bit. All right, what's my... Yeah, backup catcher and a backup third baseman is what we need. Darnell Coles wouldn't be terrible, but I would rather have a pitcher right now because we're a little behind on pitchers. I don't like either of these profiles, though. How many lefties do we have so far? Oh, yeah, we have plenty of lefties, so I don't have to worry about that. Maybe it's Roebuck. We'll just get a bullpen arm for now. I don't love any of these other position players. Although Makata would be a Swiss Army knife with a decent bat. Not a good bat. Now, let's get... yeah, let's go... I don't love this pitching profile. Actually, I don't know. What's his stamina? 24. All right, we'll take Makata and hope to get a couple better pitchers here. You take the best player available in Perfect Diamond Gold, then fill in. Okay. So you don't care about era in the first 3 rounds, Max. You just go with best card available. I think Elder, the live Elder, might be the best pitcher here. The good thing is we're caught up on pitchers now. We have 10. Oh, this Rafaela card. Awesome. Good fielding Swiss Army knife live card. And we still need a catcher. This Kittredge is a pretty good VL. So we'll do that. And we're going to have to get our 2 pitchers. This means we have to get our 2 pitchers in the next round. Wait. We're going to only have 14 pitchers. It's hard to pass up on Rafaela. But, I mean, we're actually pretty good here. Maybe we don't need Rafaela. Okay, I think I want 13 pitchers, so we're going to have to pass on Rafaela, even though I really like his card. I like his fielding. Look at that fielding and Swiss Army knife. Let's see what my pitching looks like. Could I get by with 12 arms? I don't know. It's all 50s in the bullpen, which isn't bad, but... Well, who would I take? Oh, Urquidy. I guess I take Urquidy. I'm taking Rafaela. I like his card too much. Please let me have two good pitchers here. Oof, that's a pretty rough card. That's not terrible. The problem is the ones I would take are both relievers. That's going to help the stamina situation. Okay, not ideal. I probably should have taken... I should have resisted the urge to take Rafaela. Okay, let's just do a quick roster set for now, and then I'll do everything else after the stream. So we'll just get the settings. We'll just make sure we have the right starters in the rotation. Well, I think I need the stamina, even though it means only having one lefty in the pen. But I need the stamina in the starters, I think. So let's see. I go Fernando first. I'd go Rao second. I'd go Rogers third. Okay, they went Latos third and then Rogers. I'll keep that. Sherry Smith fifth. Yeah, that's fine. Darvish would close. Let's see. I want Darvish actually to be my stopper. So we'll have Taj Bradley close. And then I want a lefty stopper as well. And then my next two best pitchers will be my setup guys. So Stone and Elder. And these guys will be middle relief. I'm a little worried that I might have to make Nicholas avoid high leverage. You know what? Based on his stamina, I want to make Reed a setup guy and move Elder to middle relief. Okay, and then this part we'll worry about later. I will give Joe Jackson the ability to steal. The team slider has stealing at almost 0 or -5. But we'll let Joe Jackson and Edwards steal. Okay. Let's save that. All right, one more of these to do. Let me put... I'll put Barry Basher's roster back up. So that, while I switch accounts... Okay. Well, that was pretty quick. Sorry you didn't get a long look at that, but we'll put that back up. This is the same draft. We have 13 and a half minutes before it fires. We can still keep drafting, but any roster setting and stuff we do will get lost if we try to save them after the tournament fires. We'll go Manny and Herbeck. kind of max LP style, going for the top two bats there. Oh, I get Fernando again. Nice. That's awesome. Do I go with Dominguez or Frank Howard? See, Frank Howard's one. His contact and eye are still good enough that I'm willing to take the 20% cut on the power. So we'll go Fernando and Howard. And then we'll go, I think, Pee Wee Reese and the 21 catching is kind of a turnoff. I guess it's Marvin Williams. Yeah, Marvin plays everywhere pretty decently. I like this Pee Wee Reese card. It's not as good as the late cycle Pee Wee Reese we got in 25, but Rogers, and then yes, that's true. Marvin does catch better than Deeds. That's funny, Max. I never noticed that until you said that, but that's perfect. That's so good. Amazing. So I like this Potter's card, but I also like. Oh, we have a first baseman though. We have Herbeck, and we've already got Howard DHing. So we'll go pitcher unless we go defense somewhere. Can Mac Jones play decent center field? No. You like Ricky? Yeah, but he's a reliever. Do you go reliever this early? Yeah, I almost never go reliever this early. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm lukewarm on them, but I still like them better than going reliever this early, I think. Actually, do I like live Buto better than... It's close, but I think we'll go... Potter's got... The stamina's too good to pass up, so we'll go Potter. You don't like... Oh, see, I don't mind him as much as you do. Yeah, if I didn't like him, then I probably would have gone Ricky, but I don't mind his card as much as you do. So I do like the... So a lot of the future legends have Swiss Army knife qualities, which are pretty nice. Again, another better catcher. Ollie North, I was really surprised at how few left-handed throwing catchers there were. Pat Zachary, I don't mind. Georgia Tech legend, Mark Teixeira. Although we already have first base and DH. No, like a quarter of 1%. It was like 0.24% or something. It was ridiculously low. Well, let's see. If I put DeShields at second, then Williams can play... No, I like Williams there. Oof. Do I go bullpen here? Because I don't love many of my other choices. Okay, that if I... Howard's my DH, though, so... Alright, we're going to go bullpen, I guess. Yeah, I like this King card. I don't mind this Russo card. Mullins can play center versus both. He's not great, but at least he can... He's not terrible out there. And I haven't seen a better center fielder yet. And we're behind on pitchers, so I'll take King. The Tiedemann card I like. Davidson can play first or third, so maybe we'll go Davidson. Although D. Strange Gordon can play second and short. And if I recall, he's like reverse splitty, right? Yeah, he's good against lefties. All right, let's take D. Strange Gordon. That'll give us some depth up the middle. Ventura, not terrible. Maine is helped a little bit by the lower home run era here. Okay. Maybe we'll go Oka. It's like a choice amongst the mediocre pitchers. I guess Comer's not terrible. Comer and Oka. Oh, I love that Ryan Domit has a 7 catcher rating. He makes Dietz look like Pudge. Yeah, and he's listed first as a catcher. This is what Ezra Denny's been like, driving Ezra batty when players with like a low rating have it as their first primary position. That's pretty funny. I'll have to remember to mention him to Ezra. How are we looking here? What's our depth chart like? We can go corner infielder at some point. We do still want a better backup center fielder. So we can go middle infield. That doesn't really help our situation, though. There's no center fielder here, so do we go another pitcher? Hey, Star, Ollie North asked the same question, too. It was pretty good. There were no, like, major surprises other than I was surprised how high the I was. The legend level catcher I. Very high. And we saw what we've been seeing at the other positions where there's just no half stars or 1 stars. 0.24% of our legend level catchers threw left-handed. So yeah, almost none. Practically none. Oh, Brad Miller. Yes, Brad Miller. Thank you. We need a backup catcher. Del Rice with the power, maybe. I guess we do have a backup catcher in... Oh, no, that's the other team that had Moreland. All right, we'll go... I don't think we have a backup catcher. Oh, that's right. William Slade. Max mentioned this, the William Slade's catcher. But he's my starting second baseman, so let's get a real backup catcher. And then Swiss Army knife with Brad Miller. Let's get another pitcher, and then if we can, a decent glove in center field. Is that it? 2 pitchers? Oh, yikes. 3 pitchers. All right, we're going to lean into this 20% lower home run total here and take Trent Thornton. We're all right on infield defense, I think, right? Infield backups now. Yeah, we're set. We've got Barney and Strange Gordon. We'll have to fix this. I don't want Keith Moreland DHing versus righties, but... Okay, is there a decent center fielder out here? 71 center field. You've got the job. 80 contact, too. Nice. All right, I like it. I like it. All right, after this, we're going to go start building our creator roster team. Let's just set our starting pitchers. Fernando. Let's see. I know Zachary second. Or we could go Tiedemann second and then make them run through 3 righties in a row. Zachary. Potter, who Max doesn't like. I'll put Rogers ahead of Potter. All right, and then a pen. No lefties in the pen. I don't love that. All right, we're gonna ride Chad Fox's stuff and no P Babbitt closer. Oh man. All right, who is my stopper or 2 stoppers? We'll go Comer and King. And then we'll go Oka and Elder. Oh wait, who's my other stopper? Oh, Elder was my other stopper. Okay. I guess with Oka and Thornton. I don't love Thornton's home runs suppression though. Oh wait, why do I have two closers? That's not supposed to be. Eric King can be my other setup. So Thornton can go to middle relief and avoid high leverage. And this will be stopper. Seventh. Closer. Middle. Okay, so let's just submit that. You know what? I do want to make sure I get Moreland out of that DH spot versus righties, though. Let's see. Steve Evans we can put in there. Or Brad Miller. Okay, home runs are going to be nerfed, so we'll go Evans. And then why is D. Strange Gordon on the bench? Okay, Marvin Williams. Okay, that is a better bat. Versus lefties. Okay, yeah, Moreland is better versus lefties. I am tempted to start D. Strange Gordon's reverse splitty bat versus lefties, though. You know, I'm going to do it. That means Moreland's going to be... Wait, did I not have a starting catcher? I thought Moreland was my backup. Who was my... Oh, I didn't realize Moreland's... Oh, Del Rice is my starting catcher now. Okay. Alright. We'll go G Strange Gordon versus lefties. And then we'll lead him off. Let's see. Let's go Pee Wee Reese. We'll go Manny. Herbeck Howard. Mayo. Williams Mullins. Something like this. I'll try to tweak it after we do the sim. Mullins, will let him steal a little bit. All right. Thanks for bearing with me on that. So let's take a look at what our picks are going to look like. We're just going to piggyback on Barry Basher's choices. Part of this is to have some sort of control with what... Oh, FindDB's already filled out the form. Wow. Okay. Well, we are using a championship winning roster here. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's go ahead and go to the base game. Let's open a new game. We have a quick start for create a roster. Low ball. Franchise time machine. Test V1. Now, one question is, what team do we take over? Let's take a quick look at the MLB standings from 2024. That is the run environment we're going to be using. Let me pull it up on BREF and then I'll put it in the... Okay, here are the standings. Now, ideally, we want a division where we're going to get beat up on quite a bit. Now, one easy way to do it would be to take over the White Sox, as they were so bad, so we're not replacing a good team. But I'm not super afraid of any of those teams in there. You lean White Sox flying WV? I was thinking of leaning Rockies. Because the Padres and Dodgers could beat up on us, and the Diamondbacks and Giants aren't terrible. Although if we're the Marlins, then the Phillies, Braves, and Mets would beat up on us. The Nationals, though, could be a problem because they're not great. The problem with the Rockies is we might end up leading the league in home runs. Although it is fun because we'll give up a ton of home runs, too. I mean, I fear the Dodgers and Padres more than I would fear the Phillies and Braves. Or the Yankees and Orioles. Yeah, let's try taking over the Rockies. Not because of the park, but because of the division. Colorado Rockies. Or, well, I was going to say we should do what Barry Basher did, but that's in a different run environment, so that's not really a good. We'll go Rockies. Okay, so first thing we do is we're going to delete out... first, let me make sure that the modifiers are correct. Yeah, those are good. Okay. And let's update the mailbox settings before I forget. And the manager options. Okay, let's delete out the roster. All right, let's start building our players. First up, 2 legend level catchers. I thought this was a very interesting decision by Barry Basher. I mean, it worked out. So, let's go back to create a roster batting. Oh, sorry, we're still on BREF. Thank you. All right, so first up. Oh, yeah, I forgot. What we usually do before each round, I flip over to this and say, okay, here's what we're doing. It's easy. Just look for the green font. That's what we're using. Barry Basher's championship run. Legend level, 2 catchers. So, again, I thought a very interesting decision here. I'm assuming part of the rationale is we rarely see catchers who are really good offensively and defensively. So if you take a good defensive catcher, you probably get a pretty nerfed bat. So that might be why he went double catcher here at the top. Yeah, so if we go maximum defense, this is probably the weakest bat, right? It's got 55 contact, 55 BABIP. It's the same bat almost as Robert Clay. But with worse avoid K, more splitty, the worst bunter in the pool, which should make it automatic. Yeah, Clay is bad, but so is Eric Johnson. They're both pretty rough. I guess, I was looking for the best defensive player because then you probably get a worse bat with it, but Clay seems to give you the same bat with a worse glove. So I think we'll go Clay here. Robert Claydog. Is Claydog even here? Yeah, he can't run. Even among the catchers, he is the slowest. All right, so we're going to go Clay. That means we delete everyone else. And we'll add Clay to our La Electricidad. Does that mean he's electric? That's a pretty cool nickname. That's pretty cool. Colorado Rockies. Martin Maldonado without the arm. So 2025 Martin Maldonado. Nice. Nice. All right, let's go another catcher here. I like the nerfed power here. See, we noticed this during player generation tests. Lots of I in these legend level catchers. I think it's Escobedo. It'll be interesting to see which one. The AI might platoon these two because Escobedo is a lefty batter. Walter. Salvatore Walter Escobedo. He plays all outfield spots? Really? Holy cow, that's cool. Wow. Nice. This is one of our rare catcher center fielders. We had 74 out of 8,000 legend level catchers who also played center field. And we got one of them. Nice. Good catch line to me. I was totally going to fly by that. All right, Star. Have a good night. Hopefully you submitted a pack giveaway form, Star, so you can win even while you're gone. All right, next up is our star level round. And Barry Basher, like most people, went 5 relief pitchers in that round. So I think Barry Basher was onto something. We got 2 legend level players without really getting a legend level bat. So that was pretty good. Pretty good use, I think, of the legend level spots there. What is this filter? All right, we don't have anything checked, so that's fine. Whoa, these are pretty decently low star levels for star level. I think we're going to go with this nice flat profile with no hold. Very splitty. So he's a righty. If they bring in any lefties, he'll get rocked. I think I like Hector Vasquez. Very splitty. Yeah, I think that is a good get. I feel pretty good about that one. I also think I forgot to label one of my pitchers. Yep. Escobedo was or catchers. He is a legend. Okay. Another reliever. Okay, this is a much better pool. So we're going to end up having to take someone a lot better here. I mean, let's go low home run suppression, even if it comes with stuff. We'll go Splitty again. This guy sucks against lefties, so let's just get rocked by lefties. All right, that's 2 star level relief pitchers. We're basically creating the player I don't want to draft in a perfect draft. This right-handed flamethrower who's super splitty. Which is good. If I don't want to draft him in perfect draft, then I definitely want him on my lowball team. So, all right, 5 more star level relief pitchers. Oof, look at all this stuff. This looks like OOTP 2025. And stuff can hide a lot of bad profile. I mean, I guess let's go worst control. Lower stuff. So I'm going to go Moran. I'm seeing a vote for. Oh, Alanis follows my splittiness. Let's go. We're going all please crush us lefties team. Who are the lefty bats in the NL Central? We want them to destroy our bullpen. I think that's our 3rd star level reliever. another star level reliever. Man, this is unfortunately a very good batch of pitchers. But sticking with our premise, Considine is very splitty. So we're going to get crushed by lefties again. Let me just check to make sure. Yeah, we have one more coming. One more star level reliever coming. Ooh, we have no split. No splittiness. The AI has figured me out. I mean, do we just go with 30 control? I also don't like that this guy has 45 stamina. We can get a little less stuff and a lot less stamina, but we have to put up with a lot more control. We could go reverse splitty and take Daniel Davis. And HRA. Oh, yeah, okay. Mejia does have the worst HRA with Gates. Good call, Flying WV. Okay, worst home run suppression, worst control. We're taking a risk on the super high stuff. If we're lucky, he'll have a bad pitch, but he doesn't have a bad pitch. Okay, don't love the stamina, but I like the rest of the profile as far as hoping he can get rocked a little bit here. I mean, we've got lucky so far. This is the first, like, pretty good player we've had to take. Okay, so that finishes the star level round. We now move down to the good level, where it's another relief pitcher, and then left field, right field, right field. And the idea here is, if you take two roughly equally bad players at the same level, then you're not really wasting a level. If you take one good and one average, the average is never going to get to play, because the good is going to get to play all the time. So that's the idea of burning these picks at the same level, which I think is a great idea, and I think Barry Basher is the first one who did it. Or did Flying WV develop that? Hold on, they did it in the original lowball. It was Barry Basher who started burning players at the same level. It was a really good idea. And so, yeah, we're gonna get to benefit from that. We're gonna go reliever and then left, right, right. Okay, you copied. I mean, it's a great idea to copy, but I want to make sure I give Barry Basher credit for coming up with that. It's a really good idea. So one more relief pitcher. At the good level now. Oh yeah, this is nice. Look at this. Ooh, yellow ink for home run suppression and PBABIP. That's my guy. Bobby Stoppera is not going to stop anybody with that profile. All right, let's add him to the hammer. Bobby Hammer Stoppera. All right. He is good level. This is a great pickup here for low ball. I like this a lot. Let me make sure everyone's labeled and we are at the right number of players. Yep. All right, now we go left, left, right, right. All right, let's hope these aren't too good. Let's switch to the batting profile. Oh, good. Plenty of low power choices here. I like that. We can pair it with low I and a tied for the lowest contact. And the fielding is not good either. So Juan Lopez. Juan Lopez. Mule. Juan Mule Lopez. Can play a little bit of right field, but that's it. I like it. Let's add him to the team. Now, here's the interesting thing. We know, at least in OOTP25, that the AI likes defense. That means if we can find a left fielder whose defense is better than 50, but whose bat is worse, there's a chance the AI will start that player. Now, the problem is when we grab center fielders, they might be better left fielders, and so that will throw this approach out the window. But let's see what we get. Okay, no one has a better glove, so it'll be a coin toss who the AI starts. I do want to stay with the lower power. So Rivera has the lower I, but has the better glove. Oh, Kavanaugh is super splitty. That's interesting. Do we take lefty Kavanaugh and hope he gets nerfed? Although I worry that we would face a lot of righties and he would be crushing. Let's take Kavanaugh and hope that in high leverage situations, the opponent AI is smart enough to bring in lefties to shut down Kavanaugh. I don't know if that's a good bet, but that's what I'm going to go for here. Oh no, I just realized I may have just given the AI a perfect platoon. Shoot. That might have been a dumb decision. Alright, let's go righty now. Or sorry, right field now. I think I'm going to regret that choice now. I should have thought of the platoon. That might just have cost... Oh, look at this. All left-handed batters in this group. All right, we're going to avoid these power I guys because we're in Colorado. I think that means Aaron Christie. He gets the contact, but his BABIP's actually pretty low, and his I is terrible, and his power is the lowest of the bunch. So we're going to go with Aaron Christie. Dingus! His nickname is Dingus. That's worth the pick already. That's awesome. Oh, I gotta look up in BREF whose actual nickname was Dingus. Oh, there was an actual Bill Dingus. Holy cow! How do I not know about Bill Dingus? I did not know about Bill Dingus. Wow. All right, every month I've been giving Ophi Stream a baseball player name of the month. It was Doug McWeen. No, it was Doug McAnally. And when you see the way his name is spelled, you'll understand. And then it was Doug McWeeny. Oh, sorry, it was Ernie McAnally. Sorry, Ernie McAnally and Doug McWeeny. It might be Bill Dingus for May. I just learned about Bill Dingus. Wow. All right. So I think we have one more right fielder coming, right? Let's see. Left field, yeah, one more right fielder coming. Right fielder, average age, good level, 5 of these. Ooh, a lot of stars here. Don't like to see that. I'm going to be stuck with a good bat no matter what we do here. I think the worst bats are probably Nocera and Ciano. And Ciano is the slightly worse defender and the much worse base stealer, so we'll go Ciano. But again, we run the risk of giving the AI another platoon. So I think I messed up that level a little bit. So anyone who plays Creator Roster, I'm already giving you some leeway to best my record. I don't think I did a very good job of selecting at the good level. All right. We now move down to the average level, where we go first base, and then 2 third basemen, 2 center fielders. And interestingly, only going with 1 first baseman. I like that a lot. You're not required to take more than 1 first baseman, so that's an interesting approach. I like that. Down to average, 5 of these. There we go. Some 2.5 stars. You still look at that. You still get a 4.5 star. It's definitely like more of a dead ball profile, but that is a pretty good 4.5 star. I mean, average level profile. All right, we definitely want to choose between Frontero, Mortimer, and Weber, who have the lowest power. Of those, Frontero has the lowest. Frontero and Munoz have the lowest. Oh, no. Of the 50 powers, only Frontero has the lowest contact and is tied for lowest eye. So we're going to go Frontero. We got away with a pretty weak first base bat. I like that. That is a win in my book. Average level. All right, and then we're going to go third base, center field, center field. All right. All right, let's see. I think Aaron Rosenberg is the flattest profile here. We do want to avoid the power. We can avoid a little more power by going with Campos. But that's 5 more contact, although it is 10 less I. Oh no, it's 15 less I. All right, we're going to do a Campos. Lowest power, 15 no, well, second lowest power, but I'm not going to go Garcia with his 80 contact. I like Campos. I like Campos a lot. The third baseman. All right, that was a 50 defender. Let's keep that in mind for when we generate the next set of third basemen. Ooh, all 2.5 stars. Nice. Okay, we definitely want to go with one of the lowest power guys. Wilhelm has the lowest contact of the lowest power guys. So we'll go Wilhelm. That also means our other third baseman is probably going to start, which is fine. Because Wilhelm is a 45 defender. The other one was a 50 defender. Okay, I feel like we're getting through average here without really getting anyone great, which is nice. All right, those are our 2 third basemen. Now we get 2 center fielders. All 3 stars. Wow. That is, unfortunately for us, pretty good. The good thing is they're all pretty bad defenders. So they might not get to play anyway. So let's go Hector Botas, which is the flattest profile of the bunch. He brings a little more power, but overall, well, Dar Cook is a 45 power of the, compared to the other 45 power guy, he has less contact and 15 less I. So let's go Dar Cook. Now the good thing is he's a 45 defender, so hopefully our other center fielder will get to start. Because this guy has a pretty good bat. Everyone in this pool had a decent bat. All right. Well, this is the better defender, but then we don't want this bat. This bat is very nice. Of the 50 power bats, this guy has off-chart eye. We're not going to take him. This guy has more contact, so I guess we're going to take Pinedo. And they're both righties, so I think there's no platoon there either. All right, next up, we go to the bench level round, where we've got 2 second basemen, 2 shortstops, and our first starting pitcher. Okay, a few 2 stars. That's nice. Let's see. The lowest power here is a 40. 45i, 50 contact. I like this very flat, low profile. We'll go Ursula Sobreda. All right, not too bad for our first bench level guy. Oh, I forgot to assign him to our team. All right, another bench level second baseman. Ooh, quite a few low power options here. The first male Ursula you've ever heard of? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I didn't know if that was just me or not. This is interesting. I considered taking the ADI because of the 45 contact, but I think Jim Nickel is the worst profile here. And hopefully we can nerf his stealing by using sabermetric. So let's go Nickel. Okay. And then we want two shortstops at the bench level. Ooh, this is pretty good. 45s across the board, 50i, only 50 defense. Unfortunately, the infield range and turn double play are pretty good. But that also means this bat might start. So not too bad. 45s, I'll take that. Below average contact, below average power, average eye. Not too bad. Panda, to you. All right, let's if anyone wants to check out some fun bad music, the Bandali family, highly recommended for bad music videos. 2 members of the family named Roger. Shortstop, one more shortstop, average age, bench level. Panda, we're playing one of our creator roster games where we try to build the worst roster possible and have the worst record in the major leagues. 45 power, 245 powers, not too bad. Their batting profiles look actually pretty similar. Lee Ben Fa is the slightly worse defender. Oh, it has much worse infield range. So yeah, we're going to go Lee Ben Fa. Kind of curious what country Lee Ben Fa is from. Taipei! Panda, when you see Ophi, you tell Ophi I chose a player from Taipei. Nice. Nice. Lee Ben Fa from Taipei. Our bench level awful shortstop. Hopefully he starts. But I think those of you who watched us play low ball in OOTP25, these bench level players are significantly better, I think, than the bench level players we saw in OOTP25. Now we get our first starting pitcher. All right, come on, give us some terrible ones. A 1.5 star. Now, based on what we saw during the player creation testing, a 1.5 star is about as low as it's going to get. Oh, yeah. Lowest stuff, tied for the lowest home run suppression, lowest PBABIP, tied for lowest control, low stamina, Yoshiomi Ogata. Oh, that's the one we're keeping. Keep him. All right, that was the last pick at bench level. Next up are 4 scrubs. Now, I think we can kind of remember how bad the scrub level starters were in OTP25, so this might be a good calibration. Let's make sure I labeled everybody. I did. We've got 4 more scrub level. Here's who we're picking next. 4 more scrub level starting pitchers, and then we're done and ready to sim. So let's see what the player creation gives us here. Starting pitcher. And how does it compare to OOTP 25? Average age, scrub level, 5 of these. Okay, they're all 1.5 star. That's already improved. But you know what? The ratings are really bad. All right, 25 control with 30 home run suppression. That's my guy, Brandon Martin. Now, I have to remember to put starting pitcher in his level. This is scrub starting pitcher. Let's go back. I need to add that to the other starting pitcher too. Bench level starting pitcher. Okay, now we can create our other starting pitchers. Oh, 25 home run suppression. Now it comes with more stuff. But let's give up some bombs in Coors Field. Jose Yanis. Look at that 25 home run suppression. Gotta like that. All right, I believe we have 2 more left. All right, come on, give me some bad ones. All 1.5 stars. See, none of those half stars or 1 stars, but we are getting very bad profiles. So maybe it's just a shift in the stars without a shift in the quality. But lowest home run suppression and lowest control. That is an easy choice. Jared Thompson, welcome on board. Let me just do a roster check. I think it's just 1 more starting pitcher, and then we're good. Yep, 25 of 26 players. All right, here we go. Last scrub level pitcher, last scrub level player, last player to be created. All 1.5 stars again, but we are getting some wretched profiles. Okay, as of right now, Vasquez, Galasso, and Bliss all look equally bad. We do like that Bliss is extreme fly ball. We do like that Bliss has his higher stamina, so he can stay in there and be terrible longer. Well, yeah, but I want stamina, because I want these starting pitchers to stay in and get rocked. So I think it's Bliss. I think I'm going to go Bliss here. All right, this is our last player. Or again, Vicente. George Vicente Bliss. All right. Let's go see what the AI wants to do with these players now. We'll start with the pitching staff. And we labeled them SP because we get to put them back into the rotation. Wait a second, why are we missing somebody? Did I leave someone behind in the free agency pool? I sure did. I didn't assign George Bliss to our team. What an oversight that was. Okay, let's save this while we have the players in here. Now, one thing I really like that Barry Basher did here is he went with 11 pitchers, so they should get pretty tired. But look at all the stuff in the bullpen. What the AI is going to do is going to try to put someone like Mejia with the 45 stamina in the rotation over our terrible starter, Brandon Martin, with the 45 stamina. So I guarantee that's one of the moves the AI is going to try to do. Yep, there's Mejia in the 4 spot. And we are allowed to put Martin back into the rotation. That is one of the rules of low ball. Other than that, I cannot touch this rotation. What I can do, though, how good is Ogata relative to everybody else? He is actually much better than everybody else. You can see he's got second highest stuff, highest home run suppression, highest PBAB, highest control. And he's in the 5 spot because of the shenanigans of the AI. And we want to skip his turn as much as we can. So we're going to go always start highest rested. That should skip the 5 spot in the rotation around 10 times a season, maybe a few more. Now that we put that pitcher back in the pen, we have to ask the AI for a new bullpen. And Mejia is the closer, as we would have expected. And that's all we can do. We can just change the rotation mode, and we can put our starter back into the rotation. Now we go to the lineup. First, let's see what kind of positional coverage we have. Okay, unfortunately, we do have 3 first basemen. I like Barry Basher's approach here. He only took 1. If you don't get another backup, then this guy's going to get super tired over the course of the season. We have the rare catcher center fielder, so we do have 2 backup center fielders. But unfortunately, we have some pretty good depth at defense here in every position. All right, let's see what the AI does with our lineups. We did manage to avoid power for the most part. We have 165 power guy. And yeah, Robert Clay, our power hitter, is batting 3rd versus righties. And he's batting cleanup versus lefties. The good thing is, even though the opportunity was there, they did not go with the platoon at catcher. So thank goodness. I thought I had messed up there by setting up a possible platoon. So our two second baseman is going with Nickel over Sobreda, which I'm not too. I didn't care either way too much of that. Campos and Wilhelm. Now this is another one we gave them a potential platoon, and this is where I messed up. I gave the AI a platoon, and it took it. It's batting Campos versus righties, and Wilhelm versus lefties. So lesson learned: don't set up a platoon for the AI. We did take two right-handed shortstops, but they're both pretty equally bad at bat. But it went with Cooper, who of course has a higher defense, right? This reaffirms the fact that it will take the higher defense when given a choice. I did go with a slightly better bat with Dark Hook. Unfortunately, we avoided him starting. It went with Pineda instead, who has a much flatter profile. So we like that. Yeah, overall, I'm not too disappointed in this. Now, because we have some base dealers, strategy-wise, I'm going to take Sabermetric. Or actually, maybe... let's go small ball. Actually, which one bunts the most? Small ball does lots of bunting. Let's go with small ball. Let's try it. Hopefully the AI wastes some outs. All right, so we're going to save this. Let me put this up. And then we're ready to sim. Ads are coming in 14 minutes. Let's see, how are we on pack giveaway forms? How many have been submitted so far? Probably not many because you're all waiting to see what the team looks like. Now we know what the team looks like. We have 4 responses in, but I'm assuming a bunch more to come now that the team is assembled. So yeah, so consider this your 3-minute warning. I'm going to go refill my water and maybe make a restroom visit. And then we'll come back, close the form, and check out the guesses. Good luck, everybody. I'll leave the batters up so you can see that. Okay. I don't know if ads actually rolled or not, but I am back and can start simming. If you all are ready, we did get some more responses in. Does anybody want me to hold the form open a little longer while you submit your final guesses? I do not mind waiting at all if you're about to hit submit. So please let me know if you'd like me to hold the form open a little longer. All right, I'm not hearing any requests to hold it open, so I'm going to go ahead and close the form. There are 6 of you in the competition tonight for packs. Good luck, everybody. All right, let's take a look at the guesses here. All right, will this team have a regular season win percentage below 500? Most of you think it will be a 500 or below team. And most of you think it will finish last in its division. And most of you think it will be the lowest win percentage in this league. And one few of you think it'll be the lowest win percentage in the majors. Most of you think we will get a game score, will not get a game score of 1. Interesting. Interesting. And then the rest we get into the numerical guesses, so we'll hold off on those for now. All right, so now what we can do, since the form is closed, we can go ahead and sim to opening day and see the preseason predictions. So now we can go to MLB, reports and info, and preseason predictions. So here's the AL. This is what a normal league looks like without any tampering with created players and such. Let's scroll down and see what the NL looks like. That's where the Rockies will be. Ooh, 65 and 97, not even close to the low ball record. Again, I do think the quality of the players at the bottom level are significantly better than what we saw in OOTP25. But I do think it's appropriate because if you are creating major league players, the scrub level players we're getting in OT25 were definitely sub major league level to an extent that it was not realistically major league. And so I believe what it looks like they've done is they've narrowed they've boosted the bottom of the barrel so that the worst players you get are still major league caliber, just really bad major league caliber. And I think that's why we're not seeing any half-star and very few one-star players. I think it's a change for the better, but I do think it's going to have to change the way we set up low ball. Because I don't think it's super fun to have a 60-win team when you're trying to be terrible. So I don't think we're going to try to lower the floor because I don't think it's possible. Unless we make non-major league players, which is not what we want to do. I think I'm going to change the ratio of what players you get at each level. But let's hold off and see. Let's see how the season goes. It does think we're going to... Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard to avoid runs with low ball because you still have to take legend level players, and it has a second in the division in runs scored. But man, does it have us giving up a lot of runs. It looks like worst in the majors by quite a good margin. In fact, the second highest run total is in our own division. The Diamondbacks predicted to give up 914, almost 200 runs worse than the other three teams in the division. So it's a race between us and the Diamondbacks for the worst pitching staff in the NL. All right, well, let's go ahead and watch game 1. Now, this season starts with the Tokyo series. Oh, wait, this is 2024, so this would have been the London series. So let's just play to our next game, which is on the 28th. So now if we go to scores, there's our first game here. Jose Yanis versus Zach Gallen. Let's hide scores and let's watch our team in action. All right, we've got a scrub level starting pitcher on the mound facing the Diamondbacks. We went scoreless in the top of the first, which is good. And Ketel Marte with a runner on second. And a fly ball to deep right center field. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. And it carries far enough and is gone. 2-0 lead for Arizona. Top of the third. Our Rockies are up at bat. Our average level center fielder. Oh, no. That's deep and that's gone. That's a no-doubter. Deep in the left center field. And that cuts the lead in half. All right, runner on first again for Ketel Marte. He's already hurt us in the first inning. Can he do it again? Runner going. No! Don't run on us. Why would you run yourself out of an inning like that? Marte up. You could have had an extra run. Come on, Diamondbacks. Oh, yeah, we did score a run in the top of the third. Wow. All right. Wow, look at that. A scoreless game in innings 5, 6, and 7. That doesn't seem right. Okay, Pinedo up, leading off the 8th inning. Down by 3. He's our average level center fielder. Line drive to center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. That brings up Kavanaugh. A good level left fielder. Draws the walk. Come on, Zach. Get your stuff together. Oh, no. Robert Clay is our best hitter. Ground ball to second. Turn it. Over to first. There you go. That's what you do when you got a catcher running. You turn that double play. 2 outs, 2-1 count for Juan Lopez. Line drive to right field. It's going to drop in for a base hit, and we scored. I'm Drew asking, did I turn up the base running and stealing sliders? No, I can only use the base strategies, and I chose sabermetric. So I'm not allowed to mess around. I only get to choose one of the 8 presets. Oh, that's right. Sorry. Flying W is right. I chose small ball. But this was the other team running. The other team ran themselves out of an inning. All right. Bottom of the 8th. Arizona's up by 2. Looking for some insurance. Unfortunately, our bullpen is in the game now. And our bullpen is good. Not so good, though, that they don't give up a 2-out single to Gurriel Jr. But it looks like we got out of the inning. Top of the 9th. No outs. 2-2 count to Campos. Our average level third baseman is a decent bat. Oh no, line drive to left into the corner. That might be extra bases. Good bounce off the wall though. Should hold him to second for a double. And it does. Christie up. Still no outs. 2-2 count. Goes down swinging. Hey Star, this is the first game of the season. We are, the AI projected that I think we would win 67 games, which is disappointingly high. But Matt Frontero is now up with 1 out. Ground ball to third, fielded cleanly, over to first, and that's 2 outs. We are 1 out away from the first loss of the season. Dar Cook. Oh, no. Oh, good. Okay. I thought that was gone for a second there. Yeah, 67 was pretty high. I think Star, one of the things we're seeing is we don't have the half-star and one-star players we had in OOTP25, which I think is good from a gameplay perspective. It's not good for low ball. So we're going to have to tinker with the format a little bit, I think. But so far, so good. We did lose the first game of the season. But it's a little too close. I don't think we can lose 120, 130 games playing this well. All right, let's go ahead and sim into April. We are 1-2, which normally sounds nice and bad, 1-3. But it takes being a lot worse than 250 to win low ball. And you don't like to see any color on your leaderboard here. Our John Kavanaugh is playing a little too well so far. Good thing is pitching is nowhere to be seen. All right, let's do another month. It's still very early. We are last in the division still. Yeah, Kavanaugh is doing a little too well for us, and so is Mejia, our closer. Let's see, we're 12-17, which is a 414 win percentage. We're looking for a 200 win percentage here. Sub 200. No, we Star, there are only a few decisions we get to make. This is to kind of keep the playing field even for everyone who plays. For pitching, you get to choose the rotation mode. And if the AI puts one of your starters in the bullpen, you're allowed to put them back. And if it does it with more than 2, you can pick which one goes where. But other than that, you don't get to make a lot of decisions. It's designed that way partly to make it faster to play on stream, but also to make it a little more even for everybody. All right, let's do another month. This will be the month of May. Oh, actually, first let's check. Our 12 wins puts us same number of wins as the White Sox, and 2 wins ahead of the Rangers, who are doing incredibly poorly. And we're tied with wins with the Braves and the Marlins. All right, let's do another month. Oh, we just rattled off a few wins there. Don't like to see that. Yeah, Campos, with all these high-level relievers, we're bound to be decent in the bullpen. Don't like to see our good-level left fielder, third in the league in OPS. The good news is we are last in our division. The bad news is we're 2 wins ahead of the Marlins of the NL. And we are 5 wins ahead of the White Sox, who have finally found their losing stride. All right, let's finish the month of June. Oh, man, we are getting close to 500. I don't like to see that. Let's bring that back down below 400, everybody. All right, we're now at 39-44. We are now 2 wins ahead of the Cubs. We're tied in wins with the Reds. We are 3 wins ahead of the Marlins. That's just in the NL. We are 2 wins ahead of the Rays, 2 wins ahead of the Tigers, and 11 wins ahead of the White Sox. and we are 4 wins ahead of the Angels. And look, I've played these games a lot. I don't think I'm that much worse at picking players than Barry Basher, and this is his roster form. I really think this is due to the shift that took away a lot of the half-star and one-star players. So I do think it'll be a reasonable thing to do to change the player ratios for low ball. So I might tweak those, and then we might have to do another test run just to see where we end up. I'd like for the test run to finish around 40, 45 wins. So that if you do really well, you can drop into the 30s, maybe the 20s. I think honestly in OOTP25, the teams were a little too bad. Like 20 wins is ridiculously bad. I would like for the test team to come in around 45. All right, let's sim to the All-Star break. All right, Pinedo had a 14-game run streak, and Constantine had a 22-game streak without a run. Wow, he must be one of our bullpen guys. Yeah, he's a star-level relief pitcher. All right, one more day to get to the All-Star break, and let's check out the All-Star voting. All right, Robert Clay, unfortunately, second in the voting at catcher. 12 home runs and hitting .317. He is one of our legend-level players. Kavanaugh, second in the voting in left field. Man, our bats are a little too good. Ciano, second voting in right field. Now, the AI is notoriously bad at voting for pitchers that are created or imported. So let's see how our pitchers are doing. I mean, the starters are bad, but not bad enough. We want everyone to be like George Bliss here, who's 1-9. But Brandon Martin is 5-7. Ogata is 4-7. Thompson is 4-9. And then Yates is 6-8. Yes, George Bliss with the 14.22 ERA. That's what we want more of. He's already got a negative 3.6 WAR. Winning games with an ERA over 8 is criminal. Well, we are the Rockies and we are in Coors. In fact, let's take a look at the game logs there and see how did you win one game with a 14.2 ERA? Here's the win. 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned, 2 home runs. It was on May 26th. So was Colorado at home on May 26th? Yeah, it's a home game versus Philly, and we won 7-4. And then with an 8 ERA, 8.89 went 4-7. 8.60 went 6-8. Yeah, we swept Philly. That's not great. Philly was a division winner, right? And let's see. They're a 500 team here in this sim. All right, let's go see who was actually chosen for the All-Star game. They took our closer, Mejia, and Robert Clay, our catcher. They took both of our catchers. Jeez. Our 2 legend level catchers both got chosen. One's hitting 321 with 12 bombs. The other's hitting 389 with 9 bombs. And of course, they took Kavanaugh, who's hitting 330 with 21 bombs. He's a good level player, and he's hitting 330 with 21 bombs. 65 contact, 55 power, 60 eye. And he's hitting 330 with 21 home runs. Wow. And then the last player they chose is Harry Ciano, who's hitting 325 with 14 home runs. All right, let's check out the home run challenge. Good. We don't have any players in it. Mets legend Mark Vientos lost to Brent Rooker. And Mets legend Juan Soto lost to Corey Seager. Rooker and Judge advanced to the final. And Aaron Judge wins the home run challenge 13-12. All right, let's go to the scores view for the All-Star game. Stars wondering if Coors not only inflates numbers, but does it inflate variance over a season? I don't know. That's an interesting question, though. All right, the AL won 7-2. Let's see if we had any part in that. Ciano 0 for 0. Kavanaugh 0 for 0 with a walk. Clay 1 for 1. Looks like that's it. Oh, no, Escobedo 0 for 1. 3 left on base. And 2 of our bullpen pitchers got in the game. One went 2/3 of an inning, threw 20 pitches, and gave up 3 earned runs. Nice. Nice. All right. Let's go back to the standings view. Let's finish the month of July. Okay, 12-game shutdown streak by Considine. We are 49-60. 5 wins ahead of the Marlins. 2 wins ahead of the Reds in the NL. 3 games ahead of the Rays. 1 win ahead of the Tigers. 15 now wins ahead of the White Sox. And 13 wins across the Angels. You know, one thing I didn't think about is by not replacing the White Sox, that makes it a lot harder to have the worst record in the majors. So that alone maybe makes it worth taking the White Sox next time. All right, let's finish the month of August. Five consecutive pinch hits by Cook and a 30-game on-base streak by Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh, did you not get the memo of what we're trying to do here? 30 games on base in a row. All right, we have now dropped behind the Reds and the Cardinals, 1 win behind each of those teams. But we are now 7 wins ahead of the Marlins and tied with the Phillies in terms of wins. We are 5 wins ahead of the Rays, 20 wins now ahead of the White Sox, and 5 wins ahead of the Angels. This is not looking great for a lowball season. Yeah, definitely cutting out the half stars and 1 stars. I mean, don't get me wrong. Definitely the right choice from a gameplay perspective for major league level gameplay. But for lowball, man, was that rough for us. It's also going to make studs and duds interesting. We may be able to go back to 6 legends and 20 scrubs. That actually might be the next thing I test, because I do want studs and duds to catch on this cycle. I didn't promote it enough last cycle. I also designed it pretty late in the cycle too. All right, let's go to the end of the regular season. Player of the week, Antonio Campos. Come on, Campos. We're trying to do something here. All right, we are worse in the division. With the exception of the Marlins, we would have been worse than the National League. Well, let's just sim the last game of the season and see what happens first. Kavanaugh goes 20-20. So we do finish 7 games ahead of the Marlins in the NL. We finish 2 games ahead of the Angels, a whopping 21 games ahead of the White Sox, and 1 game ahead of the Rays. So look, from a worst place in the majors perspective, we didn't do too bad. We're very close. We're in the mix, except for the White Sox. The White Sox are still playing their own version of low ball, and they are good at it. So we're going to have to factor that in. 72 wins. This is definitely a different low ball environment than OOTP25. So I am going to tinker with it. I don't think it's very fun or satisfying to be finishing, at a 450 win percentage. Right? I think it's more fun if we're under 400 and shooting for lower. So, I don't know. You guys tell me, though, if you think that's wrong. If you think this could still be fun, we can leave it as is. And then just finishing, last in your division could be a battle. I do think winning only 20 games was too bad. Okay, Flying W agrees, needs changes. Okay, I agree. What do you think of my goal of trying to hit around 45 wins with my test before we say thumbs up? Because then I think 45 wins with some RNG in player creation and some RNG during the season and some clever innovations during the season, you might be able to get down below 30, and that feels pretty satisfying to me. Okay, Flying WV's on board. We'll try to come up with a ratio of player choices that leads to something like that. Let's finish the postseason and check out the awards before we call it a night. We'll do this as a tree since we're not in it. The Twins beat the Astros 2-1. Rangers beat the Yankees 2-1. The Dodgers sweep the Giants to face the Padres. And the Mets sweep the Diamondbacks to face the Brewers. Let's go Mets. Nicely done. And the Mets beat the Brewers to advance to the NLCS to beat the Padres, who swept the Dodgers. The Twins beat the Guardians 3-1. And the Mariners, where is Max LP80 when you need him? The Mariners beat the Rangers to advance to the ALCS. The Twins and the Padres. So Max's Mariners and my Mets both lost. Typical. So it's Twins 34 against Cheeky. Or Fox Hill versus... We have some other Padres fans, right? And the Padres win the World Series. We have a game score of 271. Nowhere near what we're looking to do. We'll screenshot that. We'll also screenshot the final standings here. Forgot to do that. And let's go do some postseason awards. Great Glove Awards. Let's see. No Rockies there. Reliever of the year. Now this is a place where we might have a candidate because our relievers are good. Well, not a lot of save opportunities. 18 saves, 2.52 ERA. That ERA is probably a little too high. Although the 190 strikeouts in 117 and 2/3 innings is pretty stellar. And what a wasted effort by our pitching staff. 4 snowflakes out of 5 starters. Including our one bench level pitcher. He managed to earn a snowflake. Okay, when you look at these records, I don't think 9 and 15 goes with a 9.00 ERA. 8 and 15 and a 9.17 ERA. These are ridiculous one-loss records considering the ERA. I mean, what was our team batting average? How did we hit that well? Okay, we did have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players with a 900 or better OPS. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players with double-digit home runs. So look, no one player hit a bunch, but and as a whole, they were all hitting bombs. Oh, look at this. He qualifies for a batting title based on our pack giveaway with 301 plate appearances. The cutoff is 300. And he had 392 with an 1182 OPS. That's one of our 2 legend level catchers. His contact's only 60, yet he hit 392. Wow. All right. Let's see. What's the next award? Oh, Reliever of the Year. I don't think we have a chance. I think that ERA is a little too high. Oh my goodness. We did win Reliever of the Year. Mejia does win it. That ERA was not too high. 8 and 7, 18 saves, 2.52 ERA. It must have liked the 190 strikeouts in 117.2 innings. I mean, it is impressive to have a reliever have almost 200 strikeouts. That is true. Blake Trinan came in second. He went 1 and 1. Oh, he went 4 and 4 with 6 saves and a 2.06. That's one thing we've noticed, that the AI is voting for reliever of the years that do not have saves. Not all of them, but some of them. Like Suarez at least had 39 saves. Jimenez only had 2 saves. Right? So it's voting for a lot of setup folks. Let's see if it did the same thing in the AL. Clase did have 38 saves. Hader had 34. But Heron had 0. Munoz had 38. Herder had 4. Miller did have 47. Cade Smith had 2. So you see a couple setup guys in there. I don't think that really happens that much in real life. All right. Platinum Stick Awards. Unfortunately, we're probably going to win some of these. Oh, just Kavanaugh. Our catchers didn't win it? Wow. Wilson Contreras wins it, hitting 303 with 22 bombs. Interesting. Clay hit 21 but only hit 293. Escobedo hit 392 but only hit 16 home runs. So yeah, there's Kavanaugh hitting 318 with 32 home runs, 21 stolen bases. Rookie of the Year, we don't have anyone eligible. All their players are a little too old. Cy Young Award, I don't think we have a chance unless a reliever is going to win it. Yeah, our reliever of the year is nowhere in the voting here. Chris Sale goes 21-4 with a 3.17 ERA to win it. Blake Snell went 16-8 with a 2.89, and Skeens went 18-8 with a 2.86. Okay, MVP. Yelich is the NL MVP. He hit 345 with 35 bombs and 113 RBI. That is a heck of a season by Christian Yelich. We don't have anyone in the voting here, so that's that. Okay, let's do some pack giveaways here. We'll do the survivor style questions first. Will this team have a regular season record win percentage of 500 or below? Yes, it was 500 or below. That's bold. We lose Smiley Face Jane. Will this team finish last in this division? Yes, it did. Will it finish last in the National League? It did not, but no one who's remaining guessed no. So everyone stays in. Will it be the best in the majors? The worst in the majors? It was not, and only T. Davis guessed that. So T. Davis wins first place. Will this team have an OT game score of 1? It did not. So Late to Hate and I'm Drew are still left alive. And I think what I said, though, is if we determine first place here, we would go to the numericals. We will skip the rest of the survivor style. So we're going to take everyone who's remaining, including Smiley Face Jane, goes back in to do the numerical section. But just to see what would have happened. You're finally up late enough to know you got packed. Yes, congratulations, T. Davis. I'm still working on how this works, so I apologize if it's still a little funky here. But so this is the last survivor style question. We'll go ahead and score it, but we're going to take everyone back into the second part of this here. So Late to Hate, I think, would have won with a guess of 48 wins. What is Smiley Face Jane doing guessing 162 wins? Okay, so this is where we start keeping track of who gets the most right answers. T. Davis has already won, so he's out of the running. How many games behind will it finish in its division? We were 32 games behind. That means Star was closest with 55. So that's one closest answer so far. Next up, what will be the MLB rank in runs scored? So to find that out, we just hover over our team. And we were, I don't know if you can see that, but we were second in runs scored. So Smiley Face Jane actually gets that right. Our offense was just too good. Okay, what will be our rank in batting average? That rank is first. Which Smiley Face Jane guessed again. And home runs, we were second, which Smiley Face Jane guessed again. All right, now defensive rankings. Now, you might not be able to see this. It might get cut off here. I can resize it so you can see. Oh no, it's not letting me. I'd have to resize the screen itself, which I would worry might crash the game. So we're going to leave it as is, and I will just tell you that we finished 30th, 26th, and 11th. So 30th, Flying WV, Late to Hate, and I'm Drew. For strikeouts, 26th, that's Star is closest there. Star now has 2. And then defensive issue. Our defense was too good. We finished 11th, which means Smiley Face Jane was closest again. All right, what is the lowest batting average on this team for batters with at least 300 plate appearances? The lowest. So the lowest of 300 plate appearances is 249 by Matt Cooper. That is way too high for low ball. But I'm Drew is the closest there. Lowest OPS with batters with at least 300 plate appearances. That is Jim Nickel with a 693. That's Late to Hate. It's closest there. All right, so as of right now, Smiley Face Jane has 4. Star, Late to Hate, and I'm Drew have 2 each. Highest strikeout percentage for batters with at least 300 plate appearances. 27.6. 27.6. I think that's well, T. Davis already won, so it's I'm Drew. I'm Drew. I'm Drew now has 3. Smiley Face Jane has 4. Highest ERA with at least 100 innings pitched. $11.71. Highest guess is going to take it, which is Late to Hate. All right, now Late to Hate, I'm Drew, both tied with 3, trailing Smiley Face Jane, who has 4. Highest whip with at least 100 innings pitched. That would be George Bliss with a 2.36. T. Davis has already won. I think it's Star, 2.36, right? Yeah, it is Star. Oh, we're off the end? Okay, let me resize. That's probably a little too small. All right, 2.36. So yeah, I think that's Star. All right, Star, Late to Hate, and I'm Drew each have 3. Smiley Face Jane still with 4. Highest home run per 9 of any pitcher with at least 100 innings pitched. It's a tie between Jose Yanes and George Bliss with a 3.2. Oh my goodness. Find WV is going to play spoiler. Nope. Late to Hate is closer. Late to Hate ties Smiley Face Jane with 4. Now, what I was going to use as the next tiebreaker was who got the most exactly right. But I don't think that's going to matter here because Smiley Face Jane. Well, first of all, I didn't announce it in the form, but I think that's what I'll start doing from now on. If anyone got one exactly right, they should win the tiebreak, but I didn't put that in the form. So, we have a tie for second. I'm going to have to ask Nicolino to forgive me again. Smiley Face Jane and Late to Hate tie for second. So 3 packs each. And T Davis with 7 packs. Alright, congratulations everybody. Thanks for playing. I hope you had fun. Yeah, it's definitely not satisfying playing lowball and getting 60-something wins. 72 wins. That's like the Mets on a normal season. So it's not a satisfying lowball game. So I will reformulate it a little bit. The highest walk ratio. That's an interesting question. Walks per 9. 8.0. George Bliss is just the king. Highest ERA. Highest batting average against. Not the highest BABIP, but the highest WHIP. The highest home runs per 9. Highest walks per 9. Yeah, just in general, worst WAR, negative 4.9. Yes, he's the GOAT of the scrubs for sure. I don't understand how a dude with an 11.71 ERA wins 3 games, though. That's crazy. That's like Bob Gibson with his 1.13 ERA losing 9 games. This is like the reverse of that. How does this happen? All right. How bad are the hitters letting him get 5.4 strikeouts per 9? Yeah, his stuff is 35. How did he get that many strikeouts per 9? That's insane. You're right about that. That is crazy. That's funny. All right, let's see. Well, Italics is streaming, and I believe he's an affiliate. He's a variety streamer. He streamed OTP for a while last cycle, and then was doing his variety streaming, but is back to OTP, so I guess we'll raid into Italics tonight. He's basically teaching OOTP to a variety streamer audience, which is kind of cool. Hopefully, it maybe converts some people to start trying it out, which would be nice. But we're going to raid into Italics. All right, I'm Chu. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. And so, yeah, I think we're going to change plans a little bit. And tomorrow night, I think maybe we'll play the reformulated creator roster and see if we can get closer to that 45 win total. But it's going to take a lot of scrub level players. 72 wins is way too high for my liking. So if you can come back 10 p.m. Pacific time, we'll do it again. And I might overshoot, but that'll be okay. It might be better to have good pitchers and bad hitters. That is an interesting thought, Drew. That is a very interesting thought. Maybe we're stuck in this paradigm of the old way of doing things. Of course, you could always redeem channel points and try it out yourself. It is open to everybody once we get it up and running. All right, let's raid into Italics. All right, have a good night, everybody. Hope to see you tomorrow night.